good morning. I can say that I'm personally super excited for today. I know I say this just about every day, but I really think that today's going to be the best day of your guys' summer. That's going to be because we're going to take mathematics and apply it to a real-world situation. So I know you guys have been just dying to know how tall I am. You've been gossiping about my height. And basically, as you guys are going to figure out how tall I am. But you're not simply gonna use a tape measure to measure the height between my toes and my head. You're gonna use math. So in order to do this, I'm gonna teach you guys a new mathematical theorem. So this theorem is called the Pythagorean theorem. And basically, if you have a right triangle, which if you guys remember from last week, it's just a triangle with a right angle, or a 90-degree angle, right here. And if you have the sides A, B, and C, and you take one of the sides, so we'll start with A, and you square it or multiply by itself, so A squared. And then you add it to the other side squared, so B squared. These two things, A squared plus B squared, equals the hypotenuse, or C squared. So I know this sounds a little bit foreign to you guys right now, so I'm going to plug in some numbers just to make it a little bit more clear. Does everything make sense up until now?
What's the hypotenuse?
The hypotenuse is C right here, so that's the longest side of a right triangle. So we'll say that A is 3, and C is 5. So if we just plug in these values, we'll get 3 squared plus B squared equals 5 squared. So if you guys remember from last week, we learned about how to square numbers and take the square roots. So does anybody want to shout out what 3 squared is? 8.
Wow,
not quite.
Nice.
That's right, 9. So 9 plus B squared is just B squared. We don't know it yet. And then 5 squared is, you guys have that one?
25.
25, that's right. So what we've been doing in solving equations is getting all the knowns on one side and having the unknown on the other side. So right here, B squared is the unknown. So we're going to subtract out 9 from both sides. Minus 9, minus 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. So let's leave it blank. Take down the B squared. 25 minus 9 is 16. So we're one step away from the answer. So we're going to take the square root of B squared. And the square root of anything squared is simply itself. So write that out. So you've got B. And then if you guys remember from last week, what's the square root of 16?
4.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we started with 2 knowns, and we solved for the unknown B, which was 4. All right, so here's the fun and exciting part. We're going to take this theorem, and we're going to try and measure my height. So basically, it's the same concept where we're going to have a triangle, have A and C just like usual, and B. And instead of B just being a random length, it's actually going to be my height. So I'm going to draw myself in here. You guys are going to solve for B. So basically, I need all you guys to help me in this project. So you're going to measure with the tape measure a point on the ground, which you guys will put out. So the distance between that point and my feet, and that point and the top of my head. And no cheating, you can't measure my height. We're going to calculate that using that. So if one of you wants to volunteer to put a piece of tape down, not too far, not too close. Bethany, you want to do that? 2 people to measure the distances are Stevie and Daniel. Got the tape measure is right here. Thanks, Bethany. And then Dave and Ash, you to your left, if you want to record the values of the tape measure. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stand here. This is all you guys. So yeah, make sure it's real straight.
Do it. Get up. How high is it, Stevie?
What do you got, man? Around 10
10?
feet.
10 feet?
10 feet.
Okay, what about to his feet?
Now, is that the side of the hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
About 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So A equals 8 and C equals 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, you can grab a seat.
Oh, sorry.
So my recorders, what did you guys get for the slides? So this is from the tape to my feet.
That was 8.
8. Okay. And then how about C, the
That's
hypothesis?
10.
10. All right, so we're going to do what we did before, using the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to start with a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to plug in these values that you guys measured. So a was 8. You got a squared plus b squared equals 10 squared. So we're getting into a little bit bigger of numbers, but we did this last week. So if you guys can remember what 8 squared is, or 8 multiplied by itself.
81. No.
64.
64.
There you go. 64. Still don't know what b is. And then 10 squared is?
Easy, that's
100. Obviously.
Good job. And then same thing as before, we're going to subtract out 64. Get b squared on its own on the left. Minus 64. 64 minus 64 is 0. Got b squared equals 36. So just like last time, one more step from here. So take the square root of b squared, square root of 36. If you guys remember what the square root of 36 is?
6 times 6.
6. All right, so what did you guys calculate my height to be?
6.
6 feet.
Exactly, right on. And I actually lied a little bit. I calculated my height this morning, so and it was exactly 6 feet. So congratulations, guys! You used mathematics to accurately figure out my height.